I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration.
I would beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties.
Are you ready?
That goes in the files.
Are you ready? Let's get it all!
Yo, welcome back to the fifth round. As always, your boy, Stephen Moustaris. And guys, I pretty much talked about all I could for UFC 286, at least when it comes down to the main and co-main event. But one last thing I want to do real quick, right before you guys, decide to bet or anything, last second bets for UFC 286. I definitely wanted to give you guys, I have one little parlay I want to lock in for sure that I think will win you guys some money. And, just some fighters to watch for. So first thing I really want to go on, when it comes to betting for MMA, it's my favorite sport. I've been watching it forever. This is why I do videos for it and shit. But I'm not the biggest bettor when it comes to sports in general, but MMA is one of the only sports that I really feel confident in betting. But what's tough usually is, I'm a cheap ass when it comes to betting. Usually when it comes to fights, it's around a pick 'em or you're gonna win $10 to your 100 if you bet on somebody. So usually it's not worth it for me. I'd rather just keep my money instead of losing 100 and only taking a chance of winning 10. But it's fight cards like these that you could either add a parlay together or just some soft bets that maybe can win you guys some money. So I'll go over a couple. But before you guys bet, I definitely would check these out. So first lock of the night that I got is Mohammed Makhachev versus Raphael or something. He's making his UFC debut. Mohammed Makhachev, if you guys haven't watched this guy, he's 22 years old. Absolute fucking killer. 3-0 in the UFC. Just made an absolute wave on the Dana White Contender Series. Dude's a killer. Just coming off an injury too, so he's definitely going to be coming for a finish. That's no doubt. But I definitely wouldn't pick him straight up because he was a 10-1 favorite. Now I think he's like an 8.5-1 favorite. So you're not going to win much money on that. But the one thing that I definitely would do, if you guys go to Makhachev, especially when I use DraftKings Sportsbook. So if you guys go to Mohammed Makhachev and you guys pick finish by any route of finish, it's a -150, which he's so talented. He's either going to knock you out or submit you. So it really depends on which way he catches you. So that's why I wouldn't bet on a specific KO or a sub. But if you go by by any finish, it's going to get you some money. But parlay that with Jack Shore. And this is a tough one. I want to pick submission, but Jack Shore is fighting Amir who Amir Khani started off hot in UFC. But I think he's 7-6 right now in the UFC, and I think he's lost 5 of his last 6, 4 of his last 5. So I really think Jack Shore's got a lot to prove. He's coming off his first loss. He's moving up in weight class, and if you guys watched the weigh-ins today, he did look a little softer in the stomach and stuff because he's added an extra 10 pounds. But I like that because he's such a dominant grappler that's what I want to see. I was gonna lock in the submission. But Amir Khani has only been submitted once in his career. He's a very good submission artist as well. He seems to get knocked out more, pieced up more. But I do think Jack Shore's got the ability to take him down all night. And the only reason I would lock in the either submission or decision win by Jack Shore is just because Jack Shore right now I think is a 5-1 favorite. So you're not going to win much money by just picking him. But if you pick him by submission or decision, which I think is a very strong potential, I think it's down to a 175. So parlay that with the Makhachev finish. And then number 3, maybe one of the locks of the night is Casey ONeill. I don't usually like betting on women all like that, but I really am a high believer in Casey ONeill. And I shouldn't say betting on women like that because I just made a shit ton of money off Alexa Grasso submission over Valentina. So I do and I've won all my big ones, but usually I don't like it because in the middle card, little placement of cards when there's women fight, usually they're two very competitive fighters. So you're not going to win much money just picking Casey ONeill, if at all. But I would lock in the decision over Jennifer Maia just because I think Casey ONeill is just a killer. If you guys watch her stand-up is ridiculous. It takes her that first round to kind of get going, and that's what I like about her. She starts picking up the energy more, the second and third round. And Jennifer Maia usually seems to, kind of fade out within those rounds because she's such a dominant grappler. So I think if Casey ONeill can keep it standing and everything, I don't think Jennifer Maia can strike with her. And I'm telling you, get that Casey ONeill decision. And then the last one to lock in with these, Gunnar Nelson as he fights Bryan Barberena. I love Bryan Barberena. He's one of those fun fighters. It's one of the perfect examples of just a middle of the road guy. His record's nothing crazy. You see him lose to the good guys, but he is good enough to come out. And if he's barn burner with a guy like Robbie Lawler, and granted Robbie Lawler was later in his career, but I mean, he'll pull those out. But when he's got somebody who's like a ground killer, like a really good grappler, a really good submission artist, like an RDA, and a guy who's smart, not going to take chances like that. Like we just witnessed Brian Barberina get submitted by RDA, and Gunnar Nelson is a way better submission artist than Brian Barberina. And Barberina has a tendency of when guys get his back, he likes to keep both of his hands on the ground to try to push himself up, which keeps his neck open all the time. So lock in the Gunnar Nelson sub. And those 4 right there, I think $20 wins you like $240. Or if you guys are big ballers, like I'm a cheap ass motherfucker, but if you guys are a big baller, you want to throw 100 down, I mean, that could win you 2,000 plus. So definitely do that one. If you guys are feeling froggy, I wouldn't put anything else on that parlay just because I can't trust the remainder of the fights. But the one thing that's really juicy for me too, a little side bet that I put on, Justin Gaethje's a 2-1 underdog against Raphael Fuziv. I do think Raphael Fuziv is the man, and I think he's got a potential of doing the damn thing, but I find it super disrespectful of how they're treating Justin Gaethje right now. And if you guys go bet a decision win by Justin Gaethje, you'll 7.5 times your money. It's literally plus 750. So that's one that I would just kind of throw 5, 10. If you're feeling ballsy, throw 20, 50 on there, and you could potentially walk out of there with almost 8 times your money. So that won't be clutch. And then, some last little ones, just some smaller ones. I wanted to put the parlay in for Usman's decision win because Usman's a 2-1 favorite in this fight, which is very understanding. The dude in 8 rounds that they fought, or 7.5 rounds, he's won 6.5 of those rounds. So, you definitely can see where Usman can get a win, smarter and everything. But I just don't like betting on that because it's still a favorite for him to win by submission or decision. And I don't see him knocking him out or submitting Leon. So that one I wouldn't touch unless you're parlaying it with those other 4. That's probably going to boost you up quite a bit. But just a little side bet, though, if I were you guys. If you guys are picking Rocky Edwards, who is at a plus 200, he's a 2-1 underdog, to double times your money. If you guys are going to pick him, I really feel like his only chance of winning is a knockout, and that boosts you all the way up to almost double that. So it's going to be plus 450, so you almost 5 times your money. So if you guys want to throw anything on that, I would. But I just wouldn't put those on the parlay. I would stick with the parlays: Mohammed Makhachev by finish, Jack Shore by submission or decision, Casey ONeill decision, and Gunnar Nelson submission. And I promise you guys that's going to like 11 times your money. So I would definitely check those out. And let's go, baby. UFC 286. Let's go.